Hey guys, how's it going? Phil Tigers here today. I'm doing a director tier list. I said I was going to do one last night, so I figured why not do one right now. So as you see, I got 16 directors here. Steven Spielberg. We have Steven Spielberg, Kevin Smith, Edgar Wright, Seth Rogen, Judd Apatow, Mel Gibson, Christopher Nolan, George Lucas, James Mangold, Jay Roach, Paul Feig, Safdie brothers, James Wan, Quentin Tarantino, Zack Snyder, and Michael Bay. So I want to go ahead and solve this tier list. I'm gonna go ahead and get Zack Snyder out the way. He's one of bad. I really do think that Zack Snyder as a director, he's okay, but to me, he doesn't know how to do good comic book films. The only good comic book movie he's made, in my opinion, is like 300 and Watchmen. But he did horrible fucking films, man. I did not like Man of Steel. I did not like Batman v Superman. I did not like Sucker Punch. You know, the guy, he's just not a good director. He doesn't know what he's doing half the time. I think he just step away from comic book films and go work on something else. It's nothing against the guy. He seems like a nice guy, but yeah, no, just I don't think he's a fucking good director. He's a bad director, in my opinion. Steven Spielberg, he's in legendary status. Come on, we all knew where Steven Spielberg was going to go. He's Steven fucking Spielberg. He's the one who his movie Jaws created the term blockbuster. Like, look it up. If you look it up, his movie Jaws did create the term blockbuster because people are lined up for blocks just to go see his movie Jaws. This guy is a legend. This guy is a fucking legendary director. He's in my top three. He's not my number one, but he's in my top three. Fantastic fucking director. E.T. was great. Yeah, I love Ready Player One. I know a lot of people didn't care for Ready Player One, but I love that movie. Schindler's List is a great fucking film. The Indiana Jones films, except for Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, that one's okay. But the only reason why I don't put him in great because of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull because he's a legendary director. He's made a lot of fucking classics. Kevin Smith is going in great. He's one of my heroes. In terms of directing, he doesn't care. Like, he doesn't care what people wanted to make. He makes the movies that he wants to make, and I think he does a good job of that. The only two films out of his library I don't like is Jersey Girl and Yoga Hosers. Other than that, I love all of his fucking. Other than those two, I love the rest of his fucking movies. Clerks 2, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Mallrats, Jane Silent Bob Strike Back, Jane Silent Bob Reboot, Tusk, Red State. I love those movies. He isn't afraid to explore new things in his comedies, and I think he's a great director because of that. Edgar Wright, he's going in legendary. He has a very certain style about his films. Um, he's made 5 films so far, which is the Cornetto trilogy, No Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, The World's End, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and he made Baby Driver. All 5 films are fantastic to me. They have they I don't think the lowest one I rated was a 9 out of 10, and that's the Scott Pilgrim. Other than that, I've rated his movies very fucking highly. I love his fucking movies. He's such a great director. I really wish he would have directed Ant-Man, but him and Disney were having no creative differences. Edgar Wright wanted to make something, they wanted him to make something else. So he wound up leaving the project, but they kept the script, which is a good thing, because you can tell that's a very much an Edgar Wright fucking script. But yeah, the way he directs is phenomenal. Very fast-paced editing, gorgeous looking shots, and yeah, he's a very stylistic director, and that's why he goes in legendary tier. Seth Rogen, I'm putting him in great because for right now he's only made 2 films, which is This Is the End and The Interview. Both comedies I think I've rated The Interview a 7, and I gave This Is the End a 9. He is a great director. He's mainly teams up with Evan Goldberg, but from what Evan Goldberg said in interviews, that Seth Rogen, he does most of the directing because he loves directing, and I hope he does go into more directing. I hope he pulls a Jonah Hill, and directs some good, like a great fucking film without Evan Goldberg, because Jonah Hill directed mid '90s, which was fantastic. Hopefully we get to see Seth Rogen make a transition like that, maybe go into directing a little bit. I hope he does do that, but hey, who knows? But the only reason why, like I said, the only reason why he's not in Legendary is because he's only made 2 films, so he stays in great tier. Judd Apatow, I'm putting him in great tier as well. He's a great comedy director. Mainly known for doing Knocked Up. Um, he is a great he's a great director. He does mainly raunchy comedies with emotional tones to them. A great example of some of his great films would be Knocked Up, Funny People, The King of Staten Island, which was fantastic. I reviewed it recently. Such a great fucking film. So great. And the only movie I did not care for was probably This Is 40. Didn't care for This Is 40 too much. Trainwreck was good. I gave it like a 7. The only reason why it didn't get anything higher is because, I don't care for Amy Schumer as an actress. It might be just me, but I don't care for Amy Schumer as an actress. I don't think she's that funny, but Bill Hader in that movie was hilarious. He is a great director, but the only thing keeping him from legendary status is mainly because I didn't have much care for This Is 40. Love all of his other movies though. Well, Trainwreck is Mel Gibson. I want to put him in good because, and he is a great director, but I think I've rated. I think the only film I ever rated him like 10 out of 10 is Hacksaw Ridge. He's a great director, a shitty person though. He says a lot of stupid shit, which hinders people from enjoying his films at times. He says some stupid shit. But as a director, I mean, he's a good director. Like, I don't think he's nowhere near the great or legendary tiers, but he's a good director. Hacksaw Ridge was one of my favorite movies of that year. It was so damn good. It was a masterfully directed movie. It was very brutal, very fucked up. But in my opinion, that's to me the only one of his memorable movies. And don't the Hacksaw Ridge is the only thing that keeps him on a bad tier for me. Christopher Nolan, he's a fucking legend. Okay, he's in my top three. Steven Spielberg and another director, which I've said plenty of times on stream. But Christopher Nolan, man, I may poke fun at Jay Fighter for Dark Knight Rises. I don't think it's a bad movie. It's good. It's like a 7 out of 10 for me. The man can fucking direct, dude. He has such a gorgeous directing style. He makes such gorgeous films. Like, oh my god. Watching his films on a 4K TV will blow you away. I recently watched I recently watched this on my 4K TV, and it was so gorgeous. Like, even Batman Begins looked so damn beautiful on a 4K TV. I don't know how he did it, but man, he makes such gorgeous looking films, and his directing style is just on point. He does do such a great job when it comes to filmmaking. You can tell he loves doing what he does. I loved Inception. I loved Dunkirk. I loved Memento. I love Batman Begins. I loved Dark Knight. And The Dark Knight Rises, while it's not my favorite of his, it's still like a 7 out of 10. It's still a good movie to watch. So yes, Christopher Nolan, he goes in legendary tier with Steven Spielberg and Edgar Wright. George Lucas. I'm probably going to piss off a lot of people here. I'm putting him here. To me, George Lucas, he's a good director. Like, I love the original Star Wars movie. He only made one. I think two other people did the others. He made the prequel trilogy, which again, there are two of them I like. Well, there's one of them I like out the prequel trilogy. The rest I fucking hate. He's a good director, but I don't wouldn't put him nowhere near the great or legendary because, I mean, yeah, he made the OG Star Wars, but if he wouldn't have made the entire original trilogy, then he'd probably go up in great or legendary. But he made the original Star Wars movie, which is New Hope, and then he made the prequel trilogy, which is you know, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. I only like one movie out of that trilogy, and that's Revenge of the Sith. Everything else I do not care for. So I'm sorry, people, if you wanted George Lucas in great. I'm putting him in good because he is, to me, he's made a few blunders in terms of films. So he goes in good. James Mangold, he goes in great tier. Um, he's made one movie I didn't care for, which is The Wolverine. But other than that, he's made Wolf the Line, a fantastic fucking movie. He's made Ford v Ferrari, a fantastic fucking movie. And of course, he made Logan, one of my favorite movies to come out of that year. I put it above Get Out. It was such a gorgeous fucking Wolverine movie. Yes, Wolverine movie, Altex, not X-Men movie. It's a Wolverine movie. But such a gorgeous, emotional movie from beginning to end. James Mangold really can make those gorgeous fucking films. And if it wasn't for the fucking Wolverine, he'd be in Legendary with, the greats up there. But as of right now, he's in great tier. I can't wait to see if he makes another new movie because Ford Ferrari was fucking phenomenal. Jay Roach, I'm gonna put him in good. He's made a lot of mediocre comedies. Good example of this would be The Campaign with Zach Galifianakis and Will Ferrell. It was an okay comedy, nothing really special. The main thing that people know him from is, let me get it. The main movies that people know him by are these, the Austin Powers trilogy. And that's the only thing that's keeping him good tier because he made my second favorite comedy trilogy of all time. I love Austin Powers, but he hasn't really made anything memorable as of late. I really do want him to do a fourth Austin Powers movie. Who knows? Maybe one day he'll do one, but I hope he will because I would love a fourth Austin Powers movie. Paul Feig, yeah, the first one that goes into should leave filmmaking. Fuck this guy. He did Bridesmaids and he did uh, Ghostbusters 2016. Bridesmaids was a below average comedy, and we all know about Ghostbusters 2016, don't we? Fuck this guy. He's an asshole in real life. As a person, he's just a shitty person. He blames the failure of his movies on other people. He's basically Elizabeth Banks from Charlie's Angels. Blames the failure of his movies on other people, and he's just a scumbag. He wants to push his agenda so hard that he doesn't care how quality the film is. He only wants to push his fucking agenda out there. So, fuck this guy. Fuck everything he stands for as a director. He should just fucking leave filmmaking in general. The Safdie brothers, I'm putting them in great. They did good time in Uncut Gems, and just like with Seth Rogen, the only reason they're not in Legendary is because they only made two films as of right now. I'm waiting for them to make more films, maybe two more films, and we'll see if they belong in Legendary or not. But yeah, the two films they did make, Uncut Gems and fucking Good Time, are absolutely gorgeous and stunning films. Great films too. If you haven't had a chance to watch Adam Sandler and Uncut Gems, man, holy shit, it's such a good fucking movie. It has a really bittersweet ending to it, but such a gorgeous movie, such a great movie. Really would highly suggest you check out both their films, Good Time and Uncut Gems. They're really fucking good. James Wan, I'm probably going to piss off a lot of people with this. I'm putting him on Legendary because he has done a lot for filming for me, and especially in the horror genre. He made one of the highest grossing horror films of all time with The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2. He revolutionized the whole, well, I guess the torture porn movies with the first Saw movie. He did the first Saw movie, which to me, the first Saw movie wasn't even torture porn. It was a mystery movie that had a few scenes of gore, but it wasn't even nothing extreme. And he was given the impossible task of making a great Aquaman movie where everyone's like, oh, this movie's gonna be garbage. He made a pretty fucking good Aquaman movie. He did a great Fast and Furious film. He was given the tough task of doing the Fast and Furious film where we unfortunately lost Paul Walker, and right then and there, he goes and said, "No, we can't continue on." But he continued on, and he did a great job with that Fast and the Furious film, with Furious 7. And Dead Silence, while it's not everyone's favorite James Wan movie, I thought it was good. It had a lot of interesting ideas in it, and most of it paid off, not all of it, but I think James Wan is a really good director. He cares about his craft. He's a legend. To me, he's a legend because he loves his work. He really does love his work, and like I said, he was given the impossible task of making a good Aquaman movie. That movie could have turned out way worse, but it was actually, to me, I think I gave it like an 8 or a 9 out of 10. It was really fucking good. So James Wan to me, he goes in legendary status. He's nowhere near my top 10, but he's in my top 5. Well, my top 3, but he's in my top 5. So here we go. Quentin Tarantino. I'm gonna put him right there, right ahead of everyone. Quentin Tarantino is my favorite director of all time. I praise his films on my stream. I love the guy to death. He is my hero and my idol when it comes to directing film. You can tell that he's a big film guy, and in his interviews, he references a lot of old films. He talks about, he owns his own fucking movie theater for Christ's sakes. Which, Star Wars ain't happy with Tarantino because Tarantino didn't want to show the Star Wars film. But to show you guys how much I love his films, which I showed this on my stream, I showed this a lot of my Blu-ray collecting, a lot of collection videos. This is one of my box sets. It's a rare out of print Tarantino XX box set, which I spent $245, close to $300 on. So, I love his films. He's such a great director. To me, he has not made a bad film yet. He made Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Kill Bill Volume 1, Kill Bill Volume 2, Death Proof, Inglourious Bastards, Django Unchained, The Hateful Eight, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. All movies that, the lowest one I rated was 8 out of 10, and that was The Death Proof. Other than that, the guy's a fucking legend, dude. Like, to me, no one can, in my opinion, no one can touch the quality of his films. He's my favorite director of all time. He's my favorite directors of all time my top 5 would go James Wan, modern, like from the 80s and up. As if it was like of all time, be like Alfred Hitchcock and shit. But it would be James Wan, Edgar Wright, Christopher Nolan, Steven Spielberg, and then Tarantino. Like Tarantino is number 1 to me. He's a fucking fantastic director, and he's a director that I always look up to. Michael Bay, yeah, this guy. I think everyone can agree here. This guy needs to leave filmmaking in general. He's not a good fucking filmmaker. The last like 9 out of 10 movie he made was The Rock back in the fucking 90s. He just needs to go away and never come back. Screw this guy's films. The only thing he doesn't care about good storytelling, good character development. He doesn't care about any of that. He cares about explosions and half naked women in his films. There's actually a thing going around where he told 15-year-old Megan Fox for Bad Boys 2, for audition to dance around in a bikini. Just why? He's a scumbag in real life. He's an asshole, and he's just not a good fucking director. He cannot make a good film to save his life anymore. The last decent film he made was Pain and Gain, which I gave like a 6 out of 10. He's not a good director. He needs to leave fucking filmmaking entirely. And what's sad is I think Pain and Gain only had one explosion. It may have only had one explosion or no explosions. That really shows that he can make a decent movie without fucking explosions. But no, he wants to shove explosions down their throat because he feels that that's what everyone wants. When in reality, it's not what everyone wants. But hey, to each their own, right? No, but this is my director tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is a very much an opinionated tier list. So I know people are going to disagree with the tier list, but I hope you guys enjoyed this tier list at least, and I'll talk to you guys next time.